Hi guys, welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep. My name is Alpa Sharma, and this is the much awaited session where I'm going to be in conversation with Ayush, who has bagged all India rank 4 in the JAT examination. So let's see how many of you are here. Am I clearly visible and audible to everyone? Yes, that looks good. So, Ayush, first thing first, congratulations that you've bagged the All India rank 4 in this examination.
Thank you
And
so much,
welcome
ma'am.
to this platform.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for welcoming me.
How do you feel about this rank that you've scored?
Ma'am, for a student like me who, took a drop year, especially for this exam,
Okay.
it's very gratifying to know for me and my parents that I could finally get the college, which was my first preference since I started preparing for these exams.
Okay.
And the journey has taught me a lot of things, from handling stress to handling overconfidence at times as well, both sides of the coin.
Oh.
And I learned a lot of things. Uh, Before in my life, I didn't used to be that good in English, but I learned verbal ability. I built a vocab. And when it comes to GK, I also didn't have a decent general knowledge before. But right now, I can say that I also know a lot of things in GK, in mathematics, logical reasoning. According to me, these things contribute to the personal development of an individual as a whole. Yeah.
True.
So exactly. And I cherish the journey, and it has been really awesome.
That's actually a very nice line, because you need to cherish the journey that you're going through. Because if you look at it as a burdensome one, you probably would not have been able to get what you have right now. So
Yes,
you
ma'am.
need to enjoy the whole process of this preparation, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Building from the very fundamental unit and then going to the ultimate level. That is the journey.
True. Okay, so Ayush, I'll get back to the question where you said you had dropped the year. What was your rank in the first attempt for this examination?
Uh, in the first attempt, as far as I remember, it was around 6,000.
Okay.
And yeah, my board percentage was low because exams were not conducted, and also overall the rank was very poor. I could score around 180 or 200 marks in the last year's paper.
All right.
Yeah, it was around 6,000 the last year.
And what was your weakness in all the sections that we have?
Ma'am, last year,
Yeah.
as far as the last year is concerned, I was okay in logical reasoning, but maths was a very weak section to me.
Okay.
Verbal was again, very challenging thing to me. Even if I get 50% questions right, I would be saying that, okay, I did it. And GK again was, yeah, GK again, I had not prepared well for the GK. So logical reasoning was the the only armor that I had last year.
Okay. So you were good in logical reasoning, but you had to work on the other sections.
Yeah, definitely, ma'am.
So now, first thing, how did you improve your GK? Because it's a vast, vast course. The entire year, current affairs are asked. How did you prepare that?
Okay. So, ma'am, starting from the very beginning of my prep journey, after the JAT 2020,
Okay.
I tried to devise a plan on, how I will consume content, whether I will cram them up or I will read them again and again. I clarified that, and I found a way that, if you write things on a paper, read them continuously, and then just try to memorize it when you have read it 10 or 12 times, and definitely you will end up remembering that. So I got a notebook for that, divided it into, three sections: current affairs, static GK, and business awareness.
Yeah.
I started off with current affairs initially because static GK has got less questions in DUJAT historically.
Yeah.
And I started following, initially I started following YouTube channels that come out with a monthly current affair video and all. Exactly. And I started noting down things and revising that continuously. So around, I can say around January and February, I was satisfied with the way I was preparing, as I was able to retain the stuff of last 2-3 months. Then as it progressed, I also switched to BYJU'S YouTube channel. And initially, as far as I remember, there didn't used to be any much content for GK.
Okay.
But later on, I got a lot of help from that channel as well. And I also definitely used some other channels. What I did in last 1 month for the GK, like as I told you, the basic method of noting down and reading and remembering. So that was it till I can say August or September. After that, what I did is I had to take things to the next level. So I had to bite the bullet by saying that okay, I will have to revise content 3 hours a day when it comes to GK.
Yeah.
So I had to do that. And even after that, you won't have a certainty in GK. It is such a section. It is such a section. I know that. So in general knowledge, the thumb rule according to me is that cover the maximum you can.
Okay.
The scope is infinite. You just can't say that okay, I'm done. And even on the exam day itself, you don't know what they're gonna ask. So just chill. If there are not much questions that you have covered, just chill and try to figure out some something, some guesstimate around okay, this suppose 4 options are there, so you can definitely say that okay, this is not going to be the option. I know this person is head of another organization, kind of a thing. So it is such a section. It challenges you a lot.
True.
And many students leave it out, saying that there are going to be less questions, as there has been just 10 questions in last 2 years. But still, next year is not certain. There can be 25 questions.
Absolutely.
They can throw a bouncer, and that is why it is important to start early, stay ahead of the crowd. Another bouncer was that there was a lot of static GK this year, but again, they can turn things upside down the next year. They can throw all of current affairs in those 25 questions. So it's very important to start early for a JAT 2022 aspirant.
Absolutely. In fact, a lot of kids become lax because other BB entrance examinations, most of them do not take up a lot of section of GK. So they think, it's not important. I'm going to leave it out completely. And that's I think one of the biggest mistakes that they would be doing.
Yeah, that is definitely true. And that happened with me too. When I was preparing for IP MAT, I was skipping my GK revision schedule of the daily schedule. But as the exam was over, I had to rejuvenate my senses in GK. So I did that. It takes a lot of effort, but yeah, at the end you will tell yourself that okay, I did all from my end. Let's chill.
And then you have All India rank 4, so it completely justifies whatever you did.
Yes, thanks, ma'am.
So, okay, now I am assuming you were continuously reading the Hindu, were you?
Actually, ma'am, I was not reading the Hindu directly for this purpose, but I was reading the Hindu for my reading ability and reading comprehension part for the verbal. This was my focus. As far as news is concerned, what I would suggest that some people are attracted to newspapers. That's definitely a thing.
Yes.
And for different people, it is different. So what I used to suggest for myself is that if there is a paragraph, if there are 5 paragraphs in a newspaper, I would just care about the first or the headline, what I can pick out of that content, opinions aside. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I used to read that for another purpose. And the Hindu is literally good when it comes to building your reading ability.
It is one of the best, yes.
Exactly. Even some reputed exams pick up articles from this paper for their reading comprehension questions.
True.
Exactly. Yes, ma'am.
So apart from reading the newspaper regularly for improving your reading comprehension, what else did you do for improving the English overall? Because as you had said, you were not excellent with the English section. You had to improve your vocabulary and other things as well. What did you do to improve your English and verbal ability section?
Sure, ma'am. So as it started, I had to, as I told you that GK and verbal were my definitely weak sections after last year's paper. So for verbal, again, I had to devise a plan. And again, I thought of what should be the right method. Different people will suggest different ways. Some will say that go for a video. Some will say go for a book. Some will say go for seniors' notes. Yeah. What I liked all of them was picking up a notebook, dividing it into 3 sections. Mm-hmm. One would be vocabulary, second would be grammar, and third would be random stuff. Okay. And as far as vocabulary is concerned, I picked up a book known as, as far as I remember, Word Power Made Easy by Norman Lewis. Yeah. And I noted down all the words out there in my copy. Okay. And I remembered all of them. Okay. And it was a continuous activity for me. I kept on noting down words in that notebook till the end of till the last day of exam, and I had 50 to 55 pages just having words in that notebook.
Very good.
And at any point of time, I could say that I remember 60% of them.
Very good.
And then came the grammar section. So grammar, according to me, is a kind of one-time course. If you do it one time and just keep practicing, so it goes well, as the level of grammar in these exams is not very high. So I picked up some lectures from YouTube, some help from BYJU'S YouTube channel as well. As I can say that Vinod sir is an awesome teacher as far as verbal is concerned.
Yeah.
So for grammar, he was very helpful. I picked up. It took me about a month to learn grammar stuff. After that, it was all practice. And later on, I also excluded specific practice. I used to practice only through mocks because that exam environment mattered a lot for me. I'm that kind of person who like to practice things in a mock test format rather than a pen paper format. So that was it.
I think I would promote this as well, because the kind of learning you would get through a mock, no teacher can teach you that.
Exactly.
You have to learn on your own pace.
Yes, ma'am. That 2 hour simulated environment teaches you a lot. Like, what if this kind of a question is there in paper? What if you have not studied a particular topic and there's a question from that? How will you handle that? How will you guesstimate? These things nobody can teach you without a mock test.
Yeah.
And as far as
There's a very interesting question coming up. I'm going to take a couple of questions and then we'll start continue.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
So Jyotika says, how much did you score in your boards? What was it?
It was not very great. I just scored 79 point something percentage.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
that is my board's post.
It is not, right?
Yep, I think so, because I scored.
Not.
I scored 298 in the actual paper itself.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And there's another question that Jyotika asks, and that is what kept you motivated throughout your preparatory time when you had dropped a year? Because there might be some moments where you might feel down and maybe demotivated. What kept you moving?
Okay, well, that's a very interesting thing I would like to talk about because I've been through it, and I can share a lot. I can speak a lot on that. So I will start from the moment I decided to take a drop year. Yeah. The only motivation was that I was not getting a good college. I'm being honest here. With my boards percentage and with my JAT score, I had nothing to lose at that point of time, to be honest. So the major chunk of motivation was itself that I was not getting a college. So I had no way around to do something else. So I decided that, okay, this is the #1 college of India as far as management is concerned. Yeah. Second thing was that I always aspired to get into Delhi University because, it's one of the most prestigious universities a student ever aspires to get into in this country. So I started, initially my parents were comfortable because they said that, okay, it is locked down and even if you join a college, you will stay at home. So I said that, okay, no worry, I will prepare with all my passion. I started 2-3 months. It was all fine. Then I started feeling a little demotivated for the only fact that I saw my students enjoying college life and posting pics like, okay, we're finally at the campus and things like that. That made me feel sad at that point of time. But what I suggest to my fellow juniors, if you feel demotivated, just go and search on YouTube about your favorite college, your dream college. Watch some blogs, go on LinkedIn, search the name of that college and look where the alumni are today. Yeah. That'll motivate you. Exactly. Their LinkedIn profiles will tell you what they are and what you can also become if you get into that college. Absolutely. So just keep yourself engaged with your dream college. It's not about just contacting seniors and asking them, okay, what are you guys learning? What we will get to learn? Not like that. Just stay connected. Just cherish that dream that you have in your head. True. That is, I would suggest every junior to do that if you're taking a drop.
Or if not at all, maybe because with the boards on your head and that your schools are overburdening you, it might be overwhelming at times that you're unable to tackle both of the things together. I think the suggestion Ayush has given is a brilliant one, and I would recommend it to everyone else as well here. And Aditya, I think Ayush has answered your question in detail here. So Ayush, my next question would be, what motivated you to actually take up management as a course?
Okay, well, if I take 5 to 10 seconds to gather my thoughts, I will say that, if you pick any other undergraduate course, be it engineering or economics honors or medical, what you're doing is you're learning a specific skill
Yeah.
to work in a particular kind of organization.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's my thought, that you're learning a skill to work in a specific kind of organization, a specific kind of environment. But what sets management apart for me is that, this is the field where you actually study how to manage people and how to get work from them, rather than learning how you are going to work.
Absolutely, yes.
You will learn how to manage people, how to get work out of people. If you're a management graduate, you can handle a hospital. If you have a little bit of medical expertise, you can handle a technical firm. If you have a little bit of technical skills, it makes you an all-rounder, according to me. You can handle any kind of organization. You can muster up an engineer, a doctor, a technician, and you can create a product.
True.
According to me, that is the motivation for me. I've always aspired to mm, to to be the boss, kind of a feeling that makes me feel that, okay, uh, if you're taking up management, you always have to be a leader. And I
Yes.
want to be a leader in my life in all the aspects, wherever I go. And not a narcissistic leader, but a leader that everyone aspires to become like,
Yeah.
even the co-workers and the low workers. That is that these are my thoughts about why I'm picking up management, because I feel like I should be a leader at
True.
any point of time in my life.
Makes a lot of sense, yes. And when you're absolutely clear about what you want to do in your life, any kind of hindrance is very easy to overcome. Like any demotivation or anybody who's pulling you behind, it's very easy for you to overcome that because you're clear about what you want in your life. So,
Definitely there are people, yeah,
yeah, tell me.
there are definitely people from my school friends to some of my relatives as well. That's very common in India. In our country, that's very common. They'll
True.
keep telling you that, okay, don't go here, don't go there. Hey, look, my son is doing this, you too should do that. But I know what management graduates are actually doing. I'm not doing this because, okay, that guy is earning 20 lakh per annum after graduating from Ahmedabad or something like that. These are not my thoughts. I want to be leader. I want to work with people. I want to organize people, get work out of them. I want to, you know, I feel that I have that managerial edge when it comes to handling people. So
Hmm.
that's why I think it's my passion, and I'm not going to deviate no matter what anybody tells. Even if someone comes and says to me that I'm giving you $1,000 and please leave it, I won't.
I'm really proud of how confident you are of what you want in your own life and how you have to pursue it. Yes, I'm really proud of
Thank
that.
you, ma'am. Thank you.
Ayush, I have another very interesting question coming up from Tripti. So Tripti says, what was your strategy for quantitative ability since you said you were weak in maths? How did you start?
I was. I would like to tell one more thing, that I was definitely weak because in 2020's paper I could answer only 7 questions correct
Oh, okay.
of maths, and this year that number has gone up to 27 questions.
Oh, amazing. You deserve an applause for this. How did you do it?
Thank you, ma'am. Out of 36 questions. Okay. So when it comes to mathematics, different people will tell you different things. What I
Mhm.
will tell you will also be different. So just bear with me for a moment.
Yeah.
I'm saying this to the students who are watching. So my approach to quantitative ability always was a little bit on the logical reasoning side. People will tell you that, okay, use this theorem, use this formula, use this method, and you'll get the answer. But according to me, in 30% of the questions or 40% of the questions, you can take assumptions. You
Mhm.
can exchange the value of x with some number. You can do guesstimates. You can assume things on your own, and you can arrive at the answer.
Yeah.
You don't always need to involve algebra. This
True.
is this is something that I wanted to tell students, that it's not all technical. You can use your logical reasoning skills as well. And as far as my how I started is concerned, so let me tell you that initially I started working on arithmetic. It is the backbone of your IQ, according to me, any student. Because and after arithmetic, so let me also tell you that what was the mode of studying. My basic fundamental approach was that finish a lecture related to the topic, then do some questions and move to the next topic, but keep revising notes of the previous topic. Just keep doing questions. Don't sit and say that, okay, I learned this topic today, I will solve 200 questions. That doesn't work. Just solve 30 questions and tell yourself that, okay, I will solve 30 questions 2 days later as well. Because it's not a one-time activity. You have to keep your mind recharged all the time. So this is fundamental way, is just go through the lecture, whatever you're getting, do some questions and keep some questions for the time to come. Start from arithmetic. It's the backbone of your mind. Then move on to modern maths, probability and PNC kind of stuff. That is also very interesting to study. That's according to me, that's logical reasoning. Then you should learn about numbers. They're very important. And after that, you should go for algebra, because what I observed in algebra is that your arithmetical knowledge is used at sometimes where you can substitute values and calculate, solve linear equations kind of a stuff. And after that, you should consider geometry, because geometry will require you to use some bit of algebra as well, some assumptions of x and y's kind of a stuff. And in fact, at times you will also have to use percentages and all in geometry, evaluating the length of sides and all stuff like that. After that, you can consider higher maths, but higher maths is a different territory, because only if you had it in your 12th, so that is necessary for you to write the paper DUJAT. So you would have already studied that in your 12th. Otherwise, the other things, arithmetic, algebra, these are taught till class 10th, and students forget that. So it is very important to rejuvenate your mental senses for those sections, and just keep revising notes. I personally had a notebook which had all my mathematics topics written down in very small font, around 14-15 pages for all the math stuff that I had. Just that, no questions, only notes. So maintain such a very short notebook is what I suggest juniors to maintain. That will give you the advantage that you can advise all of your quantitative aptitude in just 1 hour. And I used to do that before every mock test every day before the paper. So that is it for QA.
I think I can bring everything down to the fact that your consistency, your repetitiveness, and you taking mocks, you making notes, and you being very regular with all this is, in a nutshell, what helped you get through all this, right?
Exactly, ma'am. That's very important. What many students do is that they start preparing, they prepare for 4-5 months, and then they are like, okay, I cleared SIMB, I'm not going to prepare for the better one. I know my friends who used to score very well in the mock tests, and they ended up getting ranks like 2500 and 3000 in the actual paper, because they lost motivation in the last phase. That's when you need motivation the most, and motivation is not something superficial. It comes automatically when you're consistent, when you're persistent, when you're stubborn.
Exactly. So I think, Ayush, I'm going to take the one last question here. Where do you see yourself after maybe 10? I think I already know your answer, but I would still ask it for others. Where do you see yourself after 10 years?
If I'm to tell a pipe dream, so it would definitely be the highest position in hierarchy of a very highly valued firm. Maybe it is my own firm as well, I don't know. But I'm into my interests are equally distributed in marketing and finance. I mean, I'm literally interested in marketing. And I'll join a lot of societies and clubs related to marketing competitions courses as well. At the same time, I feel like I have not explored much of finance, so I have equal inclination towards those. And I think when you say that, where do you see yourself 10 years down the lane? The major factors are what are you going to specialize in? Like everybody is going to study management, but so for me, I see myself, if I start something of my own, I will definitely be owning that firm, and I will try my best to take its valuation as high as possible. If not that, so after 10 years, I'm just imagining myself in in the top levels of the hierarchy of a very highly valued firm.
And
so
I'm
that's
really
the simple
confident
answer.
of this as well, Ayush, because of the clarity that you have in your mind. I'm absolutely sure of the fact that you are going to be there, if not more, at least there, what you dream of. So I'm really confident of that fact.
Exactly. Now, I just want to be among people who I can, people whom I can motivate to work better, whom I can handle, whom I can make more efficient. I want to be that kind of a manager, if I'm a manager ever in my life. Someone who just motivates people all the time and says that, okay, you can also be where I am the other day.
Very good. Yes. So Ayush, I'm really, really proud of how you think, how you look up to things, and how openly you've shared the journey that you went through. And thank you so much for sharing this and pouring your heart out without any restrictions with everyone who's watching this video. And I congratulate you again for your achievement. I hope and I wish that you achieve whatever you dream of in your life.
My pleasure, ma'am. Thank you.
All the best. Do you have anything in one line to say to everyone who's watching you before we wind up the session?
I would say,
Because
don't
there
just do
are
what.
people watching you.
Yeah, I would say that don't just do what your friend is doing or what your cousin is doing. Spend a lot of time on finding exactly what you want, your passion, your interests. Spend a lot of time on that. Do a lot of research. Pick up a notebook and write down what you would like to be.
Yeah.
Survey yourself, analyze yourself, evaluate yourself, criticize yourself. Never praise yourself in life. Never ever. Always, always be friends with people who criticize you, not with them who flatter and praise you.
Yeah.
These are some of the things that I would like to tell my fellow juniors. And I myself am a junior right now. My college classes have not yet started, so it's all a new journey for me as well. And I'm hoping that I'll make the most out of it.
Thank you so much, Ayush. It was so good to have you here, and I hope everyone they've had their answers. So thank you so much again, and here we wind up our session. Thank you everyone for watching. Have a very good day, everyone. Bye, guys.
Thanks for the opportunity, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thanks to BYJU'S.